Okay, so the last time we met, we introduced ourselves to um, this aspect of the syllabus, the information technology aspect, where we talk about the meaning of information system. We talked about the types. We looked at the applications and all. So today, basically, we'll be looking at networking. That's what our attention will be focused on today. Permits me again, I will go the routes that we did the last time. I'll just do the explanation. At the end, I would share the note, but please, you can chat other colleagues who are not here. Probably they're still on their way. They can just connect and just listen. Well, since you're not doing any calculation in this aspect of the syllabus. So, welcome to today's class again. The time is fast spent, and we'll see what we'll do today. So, as I said, today we'll start with computer networking or network, as it were. It's not a new word to us, the word network. Network, I don't think there's anybody on this call who hasn't had that word network. So when we say network, we're talking about interconnectivity of devices, not just computer, interconnectivities of devices. Devices can be printers, it can be tablets, it can be your computer systems, it can be any telecommunication device. Okay. Once there is an interconnectivity between devices, we'll say yes, there is a network. Okay. So when we talk about computer network, we're talking about group of computers, group of devices, group of gadgets that are connected together. So the question you want to ask is, why are devices connected together? Okay, they are connected together just primarily for one reason, and the reason is to share resources. The reason is to share, data. The reason is to share application. So the word sharing is the reason why there is a network. Take for instance, um, uh, uh, my um, my office is a 12-story building. I'm on the seventh floor. Now, each floor just have one printer amidst the number of persons on each floor. Each floor has got just one printer. Now, imagine the number of printers, to be provided for a 12-story building if we have individual printers connected to individual system. Now, you can imagine how it will look. It will look very untidy, and it's not even cost effective. But rather, in the 12 floor, as big as the 12th floor is, it's just 12 printers. So the question then is, how is it possible? It is possible through the power of network. So once again, as I said, network is the interconnectivity of devices. As I said, the devices can be computer, can be printer, can be scanner, can be tablets, it can be wireless devices, as far as they are connected together. And the big question is, why are they connected together? I've told you the reason why they are connected together is to share resources. And what do I mean by share resources? Is to share file, is to share data, is to share application, is to share printer, is to share scanner. So the word sharing is the underlining word when it comes to networking. Okay, so that said, so having understood the idea of what a network is, in fact, these days, once you have issues with, so I believe you can hear. Please confirm you can hear me, so that I'm sure I'm not talking to myself.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Yes. Okay. 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 Great. So, so the word sharing is the underlining word when it comes to networking. So I can want us to know various types of networks. So I'll just run through the various types of network by way of explanation. Okay, so the first one, I'm not sure, it's also very strange to us, but for hindsight, I'm going to explain it how be it. So the first one is called LAN, 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 local area network, local area network, LAN, LAN. So when we talk about local area network, we're looking at, or we're talking about a network that is, that covers, a little or small geographical area, interconnectivity of devices that is within, a small geographical area. It could be an office. In fact, what is existing in where you work is a LAN. It could be at home. I have my computer system in my living room, the other one in the sitting room. They're all connected. It could be a cyber cafe. Those days of cyber cafe, if you still remember. So what you see there that exists in that particular setting is a LAN, a local area network. Typically, it's not difficult to connect. It's usually not difficult to maintain. It's usually cheap to maintain. And, relatively, once you transmit data, since the devices are not far away from each other, they are able to connect. So the first type of network is LAN. In the notes I'll be sharing, I have the picture, so that gives you an idea of what we are talking about. Then you have the second one as PAN, PAN. This may be new to some of us, PAN, but it is a type of network. PAN is personal area network, personal area network. The name speaks for itself. But as I am now, I'm connected to a PAN, okay, where you have your computer system, you have your Bluetooth connected, you have your wireless mouse connected, you have your computer system connected, you have your phone using the same network. So I speak to you, my phone is using the fiber edge I'm using. This system I'm using is using fiber edge I'm using. The TV is using the fiber edge I'm using. All connected because it's a personal, network. It's called PAN, PAN, PAN. So this personal network can be wired, it can be wireless. Like for instance, the mouse I'm using is wireless. The phone I'm using is not. There's no physical cable connecting it to the modem I'm using. So all is wireless. This laptop itself is not connected, with any wire to anywhere. So it can be wired, it can be wired. Of course, I can have a cordless mouse, or a mouse that has got cord. So whichever one. But once it's within, an individual, and not maximum of 10 meters, you can call that a PAN, personal area network. Then we have MAN, metropolitan area network. Now, this one is interconnectivity within, geographical region. Within geographical region, you can have people in Ibadan, connected to people, within a city. Let me use the word within a city. Take for instance, I have got someone here on the island in Lekki here, connecting with someone in Ibeju. That can be a metropolitan area network, just within a metropolis, within a region, within a geographical, region. Okay, so the most of all this type of network is the one wide area network. So the wide area network covers a wider. In fact, that is the internet you and I are talking about. So when we hear the word internet, you're actually referring to a wide area network, because this cuts across, national boundaries. It cuts across different regions. It cuts across different states, different countries, connected together. We were able to watch the AFCON match live yesterday because there is a certain network. Yes, there is a certain network. The match is played in somewhere in Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire. While we're in Lagos here, we're able to watch it live, So it's possible because there is a type of network that existed between, regions, between countries, between national boundaries, and that is one. And that simply is the internet that we're talking about. So if you compare the costs of connecting a LAN, local area network, and a WAN, of course, you should know that a WAN will be more. And if you compare, speed of data transfer, of course, you should know that the speed of a local area network will be faster since they are within, a particular, place. In case you're asked to write, short notes on all this, these are the things you actually write to, earn all the marks. Maybe it's 2 marks. You make sure that this type of 2 marks, you maximize it. And the notes I'll be sharing, I try to put pictures, so that when you are reading, when looking at the picture tells you exactly what we're trying to describe. So once again, network is an interconnectivity of devices connected together. Devices are connected together for what reason? Just one reason: to share resources. We went ahead to talk about there are 4 types of network, though we're used to 3, but there are 4 types. We started with the local area network. We talked about the personal area network, talk about the metropolitan area network, and we ended it up with the wide area network, which I said is the internet. We'll come back to internet later. So as I said, today we will be drilling around network, which I told you at the beginning. So when you talk in a network environment, in a network space, there are some terms, terminologies, that are peculiar, that are, oftentimes you keep hearing when it comes to a network environment. So we'll take time to look at them or talk about them one after the other. So the first one is a node, N-O-D-E, node.
Oh,
So,
hello.
okay, you want to mute?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get that part. What do you say what we are talking about now? Like you mentioned the node. So what is that node you're talking about?
Okay, so
Hello?
I haven't explained what a node is. I
No,
said,
sorry. I don't mean the explanation of the node. I mean what is the node under? Like what are we talking about that we mentioned in node?
okay, so I said in a network
Hello?
environment, I think your network is bad. I don't know if somebody else can hear me. Babaji, can you hear me? Tele, can you hear me?
But I can hear
Okay, so I said, I just reiterated the meaning of network. I reiterated the
you.
types of network. Then I
Yes, I
said,
got
in a network environment, there are terms, there are terminology you will often
that.
hear, or you often
Oh,
hear people use in a network
okay.
environment. So I started with the first one as a node. I was about explaining what a node is.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. I think I get it now.
Okay, so you want to mute again?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So as I did mention, a typical environment, a network environment, you often hear this word, and I can want us to know some of these terminologies. So the first one we are looking at tonight is node. Node is spelled as N-O-D-E, node. Okay. So when we talk about node in a network environment, we are simply referring to any device at all you connect to a network is a node. So if you connect a computer, if you connect a tablet, you connect a wireless, anything you connect a printer, is kind of anything you connect to a network is called a node. It describes each item you simply connect to a network. Can be anything. So once you have a network, a local, a man, a pan, anything, and each device, any of the devices connected, just will simply say that is a node. Then we'll look at another one called a workstation. A workstation. Now, a workstation is simply any computer connected to the network. Some you may want to call like in those days. Each computer in a network, what each computer just has is just a monitor. It doesn't come with a system unit. The system unit is connected to the server. So what you just see in a typical desk is the monitor and the mouse, and of course the keyboard. So there's no system unit. The system units would come from the server. But how be it, a workstation is any computer you connect, like in your office, that your computer is a workstation because it's connected to a server anyway. So being connected to that server and being in the network, it's a workstation. So I could come around and say, how many workstations do we have in this office? So what I'm simply asking you is, how many computers do we have? Oh, you simply tell me there are 7,000 computers. There are 70,000 computers. There are 7 computers. both of us are communicating. Someone who hasn't been in a class like that, what am I saying to you? But you understand the workstation I'm referring to. I'm actually referring to the computers in a network. Okay, so we'll look at another one called a server. So a server in a network, a server is that computer that as the name is, serves other computers. What I mean by serves, it shares its own resources with other computers. That's why if you remember those days of cyber cafe, if you remember vividly, there used to be this, this particular computer that is kept and is like is sacred. Nobody goes there, maybe apart from the owner of the cyber cafe. In fact, it will reach it out of bound for all customers. You now begin to ask yourself, what is special about that particular computer? Yes, there's something special about that computer because that computer is called the server because it shares its own resources. Banks, offices, name it, telecommunication, every of these institutions I mentioned, even in your office, there is a server somewhere. As far as there's a network, there's a server somewhere. And if you notice, it's only the IT staff that are usually allowed to enter the server room. Okay, so that server is a computer. Of course, it's a computer, just that it has, more superior resources and it shares its own resources with other computers in a network. Okay. Then, of course, there are network cables as well. In a typical networking, if you look at in your office, if you look at under your table, there are cables running typical office. There are cables running across your decks. Of course, those cables are called Cat5, Cat6, or Cat7 shielded cable. Now, if you open that cable, take for instance, if you cut that cable open, you will notice that it comes with different color coding and each one is paired. That's where that name came from, twisted pair. And they're usually paired in twos with different, each of those color means something. Although, leave that to networking for those who are networking major. But have it in mind that there are network cable, and of course, network cables. Okay. So we'll look at another one again called hub. You see all this in the notes. Let me just do the explanation. Just listen. All of them are in the notes. Of course, they're also in your pack. Then there's another one called hub. So a hub is a device. Okay, let me ask you. Okay, don't worry. I'll just give you an hindsight, then I'll move on. You see that cable that came from your computer in your office? If you trace that cable, it's running all the way. Yes, it's running all the way to somewhere. Where is it running to? It's going to the server room. Now, if you get to the server room, if you've been opportunity to enter the server room, there is this flat device that has port that has an opening with lights blinking. That each of those cable coming from various computers is terminated, is plugged into. That device that, all those devices are connected to is called a hub. Hub, H-U-B. You always see it in a typical LAN. It's in your office. If you have opportunity to enter your server room, look at, you see all the cables coming from different computers is connected to a particular one flat device like this, usually black Cisco device, where all of them is connected with, has this light beeping. So it's from that hub that, cable is now connected to the server, where, resources of the server is shared. Then we also have a switch. So a switch is also a network device that helps, dissemination, speed, ease of transmission of message in a network. Take, for instance, how is a bank in VI? You open your account in a branch in VI and you travel to your village. How are you able to access that same data that is in VI? Yes, of course, it's the power of network through the help of equipment, networking equipment. And one of those equipment is called a switch. So a switch actually connect devices, and allow them to exchange data within a network. They connect devices and allow them to exchange data within a network. So, gentlemen and ladies, so we've talked about terminologies. We looked at what a node is. We said a node is once you connect any device to a network, that device is called a node. We look at what a workstation is. So, a workstation is any computer you connect to the internet, a network. We look at what a server is. So, a server is that computer that shares its resources with other computers in a network. We'll look at what a network cable is. So a network cable is, actually the physical device that connects computers together in a network. Then we talked about a hub. So that hub is, like the termination point where all network cables, is connected to before eventually is connected to the server, helping you to, transmit messages. Then we ended it up by looking at what a switch is. So a switch is a smart device on the network that helps in transmission of messages and exchange of messages in a network. Okay, so those are some of the terms. There are quite a number of them, but these are the ones ICANN want us to know for now at the level ICANN want us to know. Okay, so that said, so still in the network, there's something called protocol. Now, before I go into it, let me make an illustration. I could say Temitope tomorrow in VI. I could go like, Temitope, how are you? I just give her a high five and all. Now, that same me, let's assume we'll have a physical class. Let's assume we'll have a physical class on Saturday. Assuming. Now, that same me walk into the class and Temitope is already seated in the class. I may not be able to, hail her the way I did in VI by also giving her a high five in class. So the question you want to ask is, what has changed? It's still same me, same Temitope. So what has changed? Now, this is what has changed. There's a certain protocol, there's a certain decorum that is expected in a classroom setting, which may not be outside. Now, use that idea and bring it to what I want to explain. In networking, there's something called protocol. So what is protocol then? Now, protocol simply means the way and manner, I mean to use the word manner, the way and manner in which devices communicate with each other in simple terms. You can see the way I communicated with her when I saw her in VI is different from the way I communicated with her when I entered the class. Nothing changed. It's still me, it's still her. Okay? So when we talk, just take note of it in case you see it in your OBJ. That means the way in which devices communicate with each other in a network. Please, it is protocol they are trying to ask of. Okay, so there are different types of protocol that exist. We have the transmission control protocol, TCP, transmission control protocol. So we'll just take them, just run through them. Then when you'll be reading, I think it will make more sense. That's why if you go to the internet, before you type the address, let's assume you want to go to Google. Before you type Google, if you notice, you will see //HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That's a protocol. We'll come to it later. Anyway, that's a protocol that is being used there. You see it now when you go to the address bar, trying to type maybe Google or networks.com. For instance, maybe you want to visit a site. You oftentimes see that //HTTP. That's a protocol. Anyway, let's just run down the protocols we have. So we have the first one as transmission control protocol. So as the name is transmission control protocol, this one is used when you're communicating over a network, when you're sending a message. And let me say this to you. If I, excuse me, if I send a text message to you, of course, sending a text message to you, of course, is there must be a network first. Let's assume I'm sending a text message to let's say Babajide, for instance. I send it or a mail to Babajide. Now hear me. I'm sure it must have happened to you. Have you received? Okay, by the way, let me just add something here in case I forget. I may see it in your OBJ. When you send a message, in fact, a message you send over the network. When you send a message over the network, it can be your mail or your text message over the network. Please hear me. It is called packets. It's called packets, as in packet of food. It's called packets. Take note of it in case of your OBJ. Packet, that is an envelope of message sent over the network or over a network. It's called packets. Now, have you noticed this? That when someone sends a packet, you know what a packet is now? When someone sends a packet to you, if you notice, at times, especially text message, all the message does not come at once. One will first arrive. Then after a while, it looks as if you refreshed your phone. Then all the whole message will come completely. Yes. Now, it is the protocol that determines all this. Now, when we talk about, that takes me back to what I was explaining, transmission control protocol. Now, as I said, this TCP, transmission control protocol, helps you whenever you want to send a message over a network. You know what the message is now? Packets. Now, this TCP will break the messages into M block size or into small pieces before it's sent. Now, the question is, why is it breaking it into? It's breaking so that the message can quickly get to the destination and reassemble before it is delivered. But however, sometimes some get delivered before another. That's why at times you see someone sending text message, I start checking it. It's not complete. All of a sudden, it's become complete. It is a transmission control protocol that is working. So any of all these protocol I'm going to explain simply helps in delivering messages, or not just message, delivering packets. Let me use the right word. Delivering packets from one destination to another over a network. So that is TCP. Then we have another protocol called IP, Internet Protocol. So what this one basically does is to help locate a system. Once you connect a system on the internet, that system has a unique ID, just like your phone. Your phone has a unique ID on any network you use. And of course, your unique ID is your number. I use an MTN line, for instance. My number is unique on MTN. There's nobody that has the same number. Nobody has the same number you have in a particular network, right? So what IP does, Internet Protocol does, is it assigns a unique address to each device that is connected. So that once you say, just like sending a dispatch rider, you give him an address now. So once you send a message, it is that IP that will, this message, I'm not sending to Tokwe, I'm sending to Sanusi. So instead of going to Sanusi, to come to you, so instead of going to Tokwe, it will come to you, Sanusi, directly, because the message, each person has a unique ID on the network. Okay? Sorry, give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. So I was explaining IP, Internet Protocol. What it does. These are real networking stuff, but it's good to have it's good you have an idea, so that you never can say where your question will come from. Okay. Then we also have another one, User Datagram Protocol, UDP, User Datagram protocol. Now, this would also help, it helps when you are sending all the protocols, as I said, has to do with sending message from one location or from one point or from one device to another. What this one just does is it helps when you are sending from one device to another not to lose, any part of the message. It ensures that all the messages, are gathered regardless of the application the message is coming from, regardless of the platform it's coming from, and they are delivered to the location. There's also post office protocol. This one, as the name says, just for receiving and sending of mail, post office protocol. Okay. Then there is file transfer protocol. File transfer protocol is what makes you and I able to copy, files, able to copy pictures, able to copy programs, able to copy multimedia files able to copy documents from one device to another on the network. For instance, if we are all in the network and I need a file from you, I don't need to use a stick, a USB stick to come to where you are seated and copy from. No, that means you're not using the network. And I don't even need you. Maybe it's a program that if you send a program through your mail, it may not deliver, or you may not even be able to attach a program that requires that, I have to physically copy. What I just need to do is I'll simply ask you for your IP, your internet protocol, which is your address. Then from my own device, from my own computer system, I'll locate you and copy whatever software I want to copy while using it. Okay. All these are possible through, file transfer protocol. Then you have HTTP, the one I mentioned before. HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. Hypertext transfer protocol. Now, this protocol is used strictly when you are on the internet. It helps you to fetch different web pages that has got pictures, that has got animation, that has got multimedia, files. So without HTTP, you will not be able to visit any site on the internet. That's the summary. You'll not be able to visit any site on the internet. Okay. But the summary of the protocol is, don't forget what I said about protocol. It has to do with the way and manner in which system communicates with each other on the network. So any of all those file transfer protocol, transmission control protocol, internet protocol, they are all related to sending message from one location to another. Okay. Then there's another one called now this different. Another one called Gopher. Gopher is like search engine, GOPHER. Of course, you know what a search engine is. A search engine is a site which you use to look for information on the internet. Search for information on the internet. A good example is your Google. Google is the best and the most reliable search engine in the world. The other one, the other search engine, like there's ask.com, even Yahoo too has, a search engine site, ask.com is also another search engine. But I miss all. I'm sure some of this thing I mentioned, some of you may not even know that, but when I mentioned Google, of course, because you have used it. Google is very popular. It's a very popular search engine. So this Gopher is also a rule when you are searching. What you type on that search bar, determines what the internet, what the Gopher or your search engine will fetch for you. Take, for instance, I'm writing a project on, I'm giving an example. I'm writing a project on the internet or the usefulness of the internet, assuming. If I go to Google and type usefulness or the uses of internet, of course, you need to fetch me web pages now that has information about the internet anyway. Yes, I'll get the information, no doubt about that. But again, maybe as someone who knows how to use the search engine, probably more. If I type uses of internet and put plots as in plus sign and put documents, don't forget, you just came and type uses of internet. Of course, it'll show you web pages. Now I come and type uses of internet documents, for instance. Definitely everything that the internet will bring for me will not just be a web page. It will bring a web page that has a full, complete document, maybe projects, where I can easily download. You can see the two different search. If they ask us, if it's truly we are writing a project, do you know how more information than you to write that project? Because everything that I'm going to download will be things that is like a document, like in document form. Most likely a project somebody has written before on that topic. Why what will come to you will simply be a web pages where you have to copy from a web page and paste and all those. You see different. This is one example on the way to search. You see difference between the way you search and where I search. Now the difference is just the protocol, the rules in which I use in searching and the rules which you use in searching. Okay. So please confirm again you can hear me and we can continue. Please confirm.
I can hear you, sir.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So don't worry, we're not spending much time like we did the last time. Okay. So that said, so let's quickly look at what internet, what intranet, what extranet is all about. 3 words meaning different things. That may not be new to you, but you never can say. So I will explain as if it's new to you. Just bear with me. Internet, intranet, and extranet. You may come across it in your OBJ. You never can say. Every point, every score is important when it comes to ICANN. Every score is important. I've seen people who score 49 in a course. They'll have to retake that course, 49. So every point, OBJ, everything is important. Okay, let's talk. Internet, I'll start with the word internet. 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 Now, internet is not a new word to us. Yeah. Internet is the global interconnectivity of computers around the world. Simply put, all computers around the world connected together through a network. Internet. International network. That's the short form of that internet you always pronounce. International network. So it's a global connection of worldwide connection of the entire world, all the computers in the world connected together. And again, don't forget, why are they connected together? They are connected together to share resources. They are connected together to share resources. I personally call the internet information superhighway because it's the largest library, as I told you in the last class. It's the largest library in the world. It's the largest library in the world. There's no volume, there's no information you're looking for, except you don't know how to search. There's no information you're looking for. Most likely you get a clue. Any topic, anything at all, you get a clue of what you are looking for. So that's internet. Then we have intranet. INTANET. Intranet. Now, intranet is, of course, it's a network. It's a network of computers, no doubt. It can even be a worldwide network of computers, no doubt. But this time around, it is restricted to an organization. It is, it is not open to the entire public, unlike the internet. Of course, you can go to wherever you are, you can go to Google and you visit Google, yeah? But I may not be able to visit your own company intranet. Why? Because I'm not a member of staff. I don't have access to it. Okay, so intranet is a network of computers within. That word within has to be underlined, within an organization. The simple reason why intranet is created is to enable collaboration within departments. Collaboration within departments so that, finance, all your finance file is dumped on the intranet, procurement and contracts is dumped in HR, so whenever anybody wants it, even when you leave your organization, the file is still there. The files are still there. Okay, so intranet is, network within. That word within has to be there within an organization. Then the third one is extranet. Extranet. Now, extranet, yes, is the network of an organization, no doubt. But this time around, it's not just restricted to the staff. It's restricted to staff and some persons or people that were granted access. Okay, I said example. I mentioned to you the last time that you don't submit fiscal invoice in where I work. Fiscal invoice, we don't accept fiscal invoice from vendors, right? You should scan it and send a soft copy. Fine. Now, those vendors, those are vendors that work for us. They don't just scan it and send it by mail. Send it by mail, nobody will attend to it. So there is this network we have of all our vendors where you would log in. Each vendor has a login ID. You log into that site, upload your invoice, and send. That is the only way your invoice can be attended to. Now, you see that thing that you log in to upload your invoice and send to us? That is an example of extranet. So the question then is, what is extranet? Extranet is a network of an organization that is extended to some people who are not in the organization. Not everybody, some people who are not in the organization, some outside individuals or businesses, for that collaboration and for that file sharing purposes. So class, you agree with me that extranet is not intranet. Intranet, as I said, don't forget, is just within an organization. Nobody else. If I give you the address of my company's extranet, now if you type it on your own system, it will not open. Why? Because you're not the staff. Same, likewise, if you do same to me, I won't be able to open it. Why? Because I'm not your staff. Then for extranet, you would have to give privilege or what you call access to that person or to that people or to that business to be able to gain access to the network. So 3 types of network we've talked about. We've talked about the internet, the worldwide connection of computers. We talked about the intranet, network within an organization. Then we'll talk about the extranet, a network within an organization that is not just restricted to its staff, but some privileges, some access is given to some privileged businesses or individuals. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Example of intranet and extranet. So can we say that a Microsoft Team application, a Microsoft program that is implemented with organization, is it an example of intranet?
Ajayi, you may have to take your question again. I struggle to understand your question. Or anybody on this call that had his question can help reiterate.
I said that if Microsoft, for instance, now, if my organization we have
if Microsoft what?
Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams. Okay, great.
Yes, an example of intranet.
Okay, is Microsoft Teams an example of internet or intranet?
Intranet, yes.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, so I was asking a question. Is Jennifer issue supposed to be talked about in the middle of my class? Let me be sure I'm talking to the right people and I'm in the right place.
We are sorry. We thought you did. We thought you
we're not here. So that's why we're discussing our
okay. I was wondering. I was hearing a checkup on Jennifer. She wasn't in the last class. I said in the middle of my class.
Yes, she's supposed to be here, sir. And
Oh,
we
okay.
thought you were off the line. That was where we were discussing about her.
Oh, but please check up on her. Somebody
Sorry.
made that
Yes, we
suggestion.
would. Yes,
Please
sir,
make
we
check
Yes.
up on
would.
her. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. So let's go back. Okay. So I was about to talk about the benefits of intranet, not intranet. That's the one within an
Within the
organization.
organization.
Yes, great. Because you can be asked to, give 5 3 points, and you see 3 points, each one 1 mark, each one 1 mark. So you just think within this thing that we're doing within our organization, to collaborate within our organization, what is it actually used for? So the first one is communication, no doubt. You're able to, like for instance, we have a KPMG with us now for last year's financial audit. Of course, who has time to be giving files or carrying files? As I said, we don't do physical file. Every file is soft copy. So what we just did to them is to give them access to where each department, they go to HR, go to procurement, go to finance, and they're able to, link and able to see the files without anybody talking to them. It's only when they need the explanation they start asking for who is this person, it makes the work one. So communication is one. Two, it saves time. Time saving, it saves a lot of time. Time to carry file from one. In fact, that's my former place of work. In fact, we have a 3-bedroom flat in Akiadishola in VI where they store finance store archive. Yes, where the finance store archive. You know what it means to get a flat in VI? I'm paying that. I mean, it's just crazy. Okay, so cost it also reduces cost. It's very cost effective, and collaboration very key. Very key. Various units, various businesses can, work together. There's sometimes we do an online Excel where as you are correcting, this person is correcting this person, and he's saving at once. We are seeing the same spreadsheet. Everybody is seeing that same spreadsheet online, and that's possible because we are all within, within the same network, which is the intranet. So we'll just bring that in case I can may want to ask. You should talk about the benefit. They may not ask you directly. At this level, they may not ask you directly what are the benefits of intranet. No, they could tell you. One Mr. Sanusi was employed and was asked to review the document control process in this organization. Sanusi came up to the board and said we should have an intranet that should help in addressing the issues at hand. As a consultant or as an intern or as Mr. Sanusi explain to new intern the benefits of intranet, they've asked you the same question instead of simply asking you benefits of intranet. So it's the same thing. It's just for you to sieve the question, read the question, and see what's the summary of the whole story is that what is the benefit of intranet? Okay. So that's it. So let's quickly look at computer softwares. Yes, please.
Let me get this straight, sir. You mentioned that extranet is the type of network that that is restricted to a particular company, and also access can be granted to other people like externals also, right? Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So now you are saying that your company, when KPMG came to audit, and you had to grant them access to your intranet. So is it that, can we also call that extranet? Or I just want to understand that, because actually it's meant to be for your company, but you granted KPMG the access to your network. So can we call that an extranet?
Great. Fantastic question. So at this point where KPMG, I don't work for KPMG. I work with Savannah Energy. At this point where we granted access to KPMG to have assets, what we granted them access automatically becomes an extranet. Why? Because there is an external organization that is connected. Habits, even before KPMG came to start their audits, we have over 3,000 vendors on the system. Yeah? Over 3,000 vendors. The one that supplies us rig, the one that supplies us personnel, the one that supplies us crew boats, the one that supplies us PPE for offshore activities. Over 3,000. Each of them has unique ID that they use in logging into that network, that particular network. That makes it extranet. So KPMG is not different from the vendor that gives us rig. It's the same. For we as a company, we see both of them as vendor. However, doing different work anyway. At the end of the day, both of them will be paid. So as far as the guy who gives us PPE, who supplies us PPE, is able to have access to it, KPMG is able to have access to that same network. But the issue is, here it is where we now in IT now restrict what you will see. Like the vendor own, the only thing you see there is mails and for you to upload your invoice. The access to grant to KPMG will be which of the units they are currently working on. We'll ask them every week, which unit are you currently working on? Oh, finance. We'll give them access to where finance files are, as against carrying physical box files. And once they are done, we restrict it again because it's not in perpetuity. So your question is, can we call it extranet? Yes, at that point it's extranet. Why? Because it's an intranet that is giving, let me put it this way, is an intranet, of course, of the organization that is given to certain persons, certain businesses outside the organization. In this case, KPMG. So your question, is it extranet? Yes, it's extranet. Okay. So
thank you for the clarification, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So we go. So we look at computer software, and as we're gradually coasting home, as I said, I don't have much for you today. So computer software, again, is not something new to us. I don't think there's anyone on this call who has not heard the word software. But for the sake of, retentive memory and for the sake of exam, let's just refresh again. So softwares, as you know, they are a set of instructions. They are electronic logical instructions. There are programs that is written for the computers to perform in a particular way. I'm putting it in a very layman language so that you understand. So software, again, as I said, are programs, they are logical instructions that are written for the computer system to perform in a particular way. When I say computer system, I'm not restricting it to computer, including your device, including your phone, including your tablet. They all got softwares making them perform, in a particular way. Basically, you will see different types of software. There are system softwares, there are application softwares, and there are programming tools. We'll take them one by one. There are system software, there are application softwares, and there are programming tools. So we'll just take time to explain them. When we say system software, which is an example of a software, system software are those files, they are those programs, that is loaded on the computer system that makes the computer system to function. That without it, the computer system will not even come up. It will just be a simple mere box. That is the system software that gives life. Take, for instance, when you go to the office in the morning, you turn on your computer system. When you turn it, okay, by the way, let me also chip this in case of your OBJ. We don't say on or off the computer system. Technically, you don't use that word. You use the word boot, B-O-O-T. So I could tell you, I need you to boot the computer system. So when I say boot, I'm referring to you. If it's on, I'm telling you to off it. And if it's off, I'm telling you to on it. Take note in case of your OBJ. So booting means a process of on-ing or offing the computer system, booting. And there are two types of booting. We'll have the cold booting, then we'll have the warm booting. Sorry, I hope I'm not digressing, but you never can say cold booting and warm booting. So cold booting is if the computer system is off, then you go to the button, as in that button to turn it on, or your laptop, go to the button to turn it on. That is cold booting. Then warm booting means combining 3 keys on the keyboard control, alternate, and the delete key. You press them simultaneously. Hope I'm not getting you confused. Okay, let me retreat. On and offing the computer system is called booting. You don't say on or off. The right word actually is booting. So hold on a minute, let me boot the computer system. So what it means is that if it's off, I'm on it. If it's on, I'm trying to off it. Booting. And as I said, there are two types of booting. We'll have the cold booting, then we'll have the warm booting. So the cold booting is if you go to the button of your laptop, of your computer system, your desktop, and on it, then we'll say you have cold booted. Then the second one, which is warm booting, is when you combine three keys on the keyboard, three keys, the control key, the alternate key, and the delete key. When you press them simultaneously, you press them together, then we'll say you have warm booted. Okay? Now, I just digress, but it's good you have this information and keep it by the side. You never can say. So back to system software, as I said. The system software, when you boot the computer system, now you know what I mean by booting. When you boot the computer system, you see some things coming up on your screen before the computer gets to the desktop. What is happening during that booting process? It is the system software that is getting the system ready for you to use. A good example of the system software is your operating system. And a good example of operating system is your Windows software. Windows software is most times when you buy your computer or you buy your device or when you bought a new phone and you turn it on, your phone will start booting. You start saying, welcome to Samsung, Android, you start what is happening then is, apart from the fact that the system, the device is booting, it is the system software that is preparing the device for use. And a good example of that system software is your Windows. Windows is a good example of your system software. We have also device drivers. When you buy another device, let's assume I just bought a printer. Most times when you buy a printer and plug it, it won't work. The system will not recognize the printer. So it is through this device driver that will make you connect that additional device that you just connected for the system to see it. Then you also have your utility software. A good example is your antivirus. All these are examples of system software. But I missed all the system software. The one that is very prominent is the operating system. The operating system is the most prominent. A good example, as I said, is your Windows software. Windows software is an example of operating system, which is an example of system. So I hope I'm not confusing you. Okay. Which is an example of system software. Windows is an example of your system software. So basically, your operating system would always help, in executing any command you, the user, it will help the system to interpret any command. For instance, if you go to the system and type, the system may not recognize that thing you are typing. It is the operating system that will help the system to interpret, or what he is typing is, my name is Ifeanyi. That's what I just typed. Okay. Then when I've mentioned before, so when you get a new device, a good example, maybe you get a scanner, or you got a webcam when you want to do meetings and you want people to be seeing you, for instance. The webcam, the system may not see the webcam, but through the operating system, you can install that webcam. So subsequently, the system automatically recognizes that webcam. Then, also when you want to upgrade the system, maybe you feel the system is running low, you want to upgrade it, you want to get another or additional memory. It is through the operating system that you can be able to do that. Not through the operating, it is the operating system that help you, to add more memory or, of course, to reduce that. So, but I don't see anybody that reduces. Okay. Then I mentioned the programming tools. I said the programming tools, don't forget the example of your system software. Remember what I said. System software is the example of it is 3. I mentioned operating system, I mentioned device drivers, and I mentioned utility software. I just finished explaining the operating system, helping you to get your system ready. Then the utility software is, the one you use in, trying to copy files, checking for virus, sorting data, and the rest. Then the programming tools, which is the last example of a system software, are the ones that we use to create software. The one that we use to build software. An example is your Java. I'm sure you must have heard Java, Java. Java. Java software is your programming tools. You use it to create a software. Your C++, use it to create a software. Okay, so those are programming tools. Software that you use in building another software. Then, on the other side, we have the application software. So oftentimes you hear people say the word app. I need to download an app. App. I don't like this app. This app is doing my. What is that app? That app you hear them mention is actually application. Yeah, it's actually called. It's the full name they're actually referring to is application. So when we say application software, now application software, this one, unlike system software, this one does not come with a system. It is you, the user, who would buy to install the software. Luckily, most times the basic application software that we need are already installed when we buy any device. But the message here is that application software, or app as it's called, are softwares that perform specific tasks that the user usually installs. Take, for instance, if I know that I'll be doing a lot of accounting or a Peachtree and install. That QuickBook and Peachtree that I install is an example of application software. No, I'm a secretary. I'll be typing a lot of memos, correspondence, letters, and the rest, minutes, and the rest. What do I need? I need a word processing program. So once I get my system, I'll just go and install Microsoft Word. So that Microsoft Word I'm installing is an application. So it's an example of application software. A whole lot of, even your phones, I'm sure there are a lot of applications on your phones that you don't need, but the application software is habit. Okay, so application software is divided into two. So we have, in the notes you see that I use diagram to differentiate it. We have the off-the-shelf and we have the bespoke. Off-the-shelf, OFFD, shelf, SHELF. Off-the-shelf and bespoke. Bespoke is spelled BESPOKE. Off-the-shelf and bespoke. Let me explain in case of the OBJ. So off-the-shelf software are the ones you go to the market to just buy. Oh, I want a Peachtree software. You just go buy, pay. They give you, come and install. So once you pick it off, that's where the name came from. You pick it off the shelf. You're the one that picked it off the shelf. Okay. Then on the other side, the bespoke software, you don't buy that one. Rather, you get a computer programmer, give him details of what you want, and he will build the software. He will customize the software to suit what you want. Okay. So I take that again. Application software is very into two: off-the-shelf and bespoke. So as I said, off-the-shelf are software that you can just go purchase. Your Microsoft Word, Excel, Peachtree, PowerPoint, just name them. They are all off-the-shelf. There's no stories there. You're not the one that built it, and it wasn't built for your purpose. Okay. But the other one is bespoke. So bespoke is the one that is specifically built for your own purpose. It's customized. What you call customized software to suit you. And of course, I don't need to ask you which do you think will be more expensive. Of course, the bespoke software will be more expensive. It takes longer time. And of course, it can be prone to error. Each of them has its own advantage and disadvantage. So you think of it in case you are asked. Okay, let's give an example. For instance, off-the-shelf software, one of the advantages of off-the-shelf software is that the softwares are usually standardized. Take, for instance, MS Word. MS Word will give you, when it comes to documents, no matter the type of document you have, MS Word will most likely do 99% of the job. Yeah? or okay, 75% of the job that you want to do, anything that requires, if you're doing statistical analysis, maybe basic accounting, most likely Excel will do the job for you. You don't need nothing required, except you don't know how to use it. Otherwise, Excel will do the job for you. That's why I said they are mostly standardized. I'm looking at the advantages of the shelf. And again, it's less prone to bug. Again, another word, bug. When you hear bug means error, programming error. Oh, this software has got bug. What I mean is that software has error. In case of your OBJ again, so bug means error, programming error. So it's less prone to bug, it's less prone to error. Why? Because before it is released to the market, take for instance, Microsoft would have check before releasing. As against when you got a programmer to help you build. Of course, that initial time, just like somebody who built a new house, no matter how good the architect, if I called Julius Berger to even build it, when you move in, there are one or two, your first 1, 2, 3 months, you'll be seeing things that you need to fix again. But I thought it's a new house. Yes, it's a new house. But that period, you must experience it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So the same thing goes to software that you just built. No, but this thing, when I click submit, I'm not saying it. But this is supposed to be, it's not picking from this. Yes. The programmer will come again, take your error, take your complaints, and fix. But that's not the case when it comes to off the shelf. We're looking at the advantages. Then, of course, the biggest disadvantage of bespoke is that it's expensive. To get a programmer to customize a software that suits your business, it's not cheap. It won't come cheap. It won't come cheap. Or like me going to maybe Ikeja to get, even if it's the original software I'm buying, to get the original software. Because you can't compare both. So class, please confirm you can hear me and I should continue. I'm rounding off.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. So that said, so we'll look at data life cycle and information storage. Gradually, we are rounding off. So when we talk about data life cycle, we're looking at the process of capturing your data. We'll talk about this when I'll be talking about system development life cycle. I think that will be my 4th class with you. Class 4 with us. I'm going to have 5 sections with us. As I mentioned to you at the first, this is our 2nd section. I'll have 5 for the IT parts. The data creation, I said, would come again when I'll be having my 4th class with us. So, but I don't want to repeat myself then again. Maybe when it just comes to that, we'll talk about it once. I'll just skip it for now. Data capturing, how you gather data, interview, observation, elicitation, and all. We'll talk about all those. Then let me just skip it for now. Okay, so let's just look at database management system. I think last 2 nights, questions were asked around this database management system, DBMS. Now, before I talk about database management system, my usual manner, I like to break it down. It's got database is a word, database management is another word. Then it's got database management system. So permit me to take them one by one. So database is an organized collection of information that relates to a particular topic. I'll say it again. It's an organized collection of information that relates to a particular topic. What am I saying? ICANN has database of all students writing exam, or those who have qualified. They have it. They have it. So what is that data that they've collected? Now, if you watch, it is an organized, ICANN do it in such a way that every year when they qualify candidates, that set have a file. The next set has a file. The next set, so you can see it's put in an organized form. Again, as I said, database are organized collection of information. Organized collection of information that relates to a particular purpose. Network has database of all its students. Where your own database is not where those in skills, where their own is. No. Because you're not in the same, you're not in the same class. Everybody in this class, your file is in one place. That's what I said, it's an organized collection of information that relates to the particular purpose is your class, foundation class, foundation class rather. Okay, so that's the meaning of database. What is database management? Database management simply means how you are able to organize your data in such a way that whenever you need information, you're able to retrieve it. For instance, in Nigeria, we don't have database management. I'm sure you must have had that. Not even must have had, you must have observed that we don't have database management. You want to renew your driver's license, you are filling a new form. You want to renew your international passports, you are filling a new form. You want to do NIN, you are filling a new form. You want to open a bank account, you are filling a new form. You want to do voters registration, you're filling a new form. Kilo day. All these things is not information relating to you and you alone. Are you two? You're just one is only just one of you. How do I say? It's just you. But why are we replicating the same information? And if you check, the forms are even similar. Name, age, address, nationality. You always see that name, age, local government. You see, it duplicates itself. Ordinarily, there should be just that one entry of information. And that entry is once you are born. Once you are born, your data is entered maybe to the national. That's what I was expecting this NIM to do. But trust me, NIM is the worst. It's one of the worst data to rely on when it comes to Nigeria's information. In fact, take it from me, the best information to rely on when it comes to Nigeria now, the best and the most authenticated is BVN. BVN. And that's simply because it is not a government organization that handles it. Honestly. You remember the case of NIM and BVN? Somebody having two NIM with one BVN. Now begin to ask yourself, what's happening? So the only reliable database Nigeria has is BVN. And I say it again, the reason is because it is not handled by a government agency. I'm sorry, if anybody works for government here, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Okay, so that's database management. Now, let's take the three of them. Database management system. So database management system is just a software. Any software you use in managing your database is called a database management system. It's that simple. Check that again. Any software you use in managing your database is referred to as database management system. There are a lot of software that are used for database management, a lot. I'm sure you must have heard of MySQL, must have heard of Oracle, must have heard of Microsoft Access. You must have heard of FoxPro. All these are different softwares used in managing database. Okay. That said, so having, collected data from, whatever, let's use driver's license now, which these guys are managing. Is managing driver's license. Now, having collected all those data, where those data are kept or where they are stored for a long period of time, it's called data warehousing. Now, take for instance, of course, all roads your WAEC, everybody here wrote WAEC or one entrance exam. WAEC has information of all their candidates that have written those exams since they started. Now, the question you want to ask yourself is, how is WAEC able to keep, such large information for such a long period of time? That is because they've got, data warehouse where data is stored. And this place where data is stored has to be in such a way that that place would not be volatile. When we say volatile means not something that can easily go bad easily. It's from there that you're able to do your analysis. Okay, I want to see all the females from Lagos State that wrote WAEC, that got 5 credits, that chose Unilag. Can you see different conditions I put? I want 1, not everybody. I want all females. 2, not from any state. I want Lagos State. 3, and not any school. I want at least minimum of 5 credits and above. 4, not all schools. I want those that chose Unilag. I can even go on again. Okay, I want everybody who is less than 20. Maybe there's a program I want to, put them in. I can say 5 conditions. I queried the database to be able to get this. Of course, as you are imputing, it will be eliminating some people while getting some people, on board. Okay. So, but where that data is stored, that's what I'm going to, is actually called your data warehouse. Now, take for instance, imagine the number of data INEC has, or INEC, the number of data they have. It's quite much, right? Yeah, it's quite much. Imagine the number of data immigration has. Those trying to get their international passport, either renewal, you're doing a new one. Just imagine the number. Quite much, right? Take for instance banks. Imagine the number of data bank has on their customers. Quite much, right? FCC, when they were functional, imagine the number of database they have, of all those that uses, the tool. Quite much. Now, you see this type of data that I just gave you examples of. They are called big data. If you've not heard of it before, this is your first time, hear it now. Big data. I can ask you a question in this around this around this area. Big data are data sets. They are sets of data. They are too big. That's where the name came from. Too large, too complex to be managed using the traditional means. What I mean by traditional means is maybe just putting them in rows and columns. No. They are too large to be managed in the regular way you manage your normal, like for instance, network now. I can't say network has big data because the number of students they've churn out year in, year out can simply be managed using Excel. So I can't call that one big data. But imagine the number of vehicles that are packed on LCC and asking, and they give this year e-tag. It's much. It's massive. Yeah, it's massive. So such kind of large data that you cannot manage using the traditional way is called big data. In case you're hearing it or you see it, write short notes on the following: 1, 2, you see another one, you see big data. This is what we're referring to. We're referring to data sets that you cannot manage using the traditional means, using the traditional way, because they're too large and they're too complex to manage using the traditional way, which you normally manage your data. Okay, I'm trying to log on to my system. I've been talking without my system. Okay, so that's what big data is all about. Okay, you oftentimes you ask yourself, where can this big data be applied, or where do we see it? You use this big data for. Okay, I have a friend. When LCC, this tollgate, when it was working, he was doing a project trying to find out, on the average, how much LCC makes on daily basis. He has a project. I think he was doing it for a company, contacted him to help them to say it was paid. So this guy stayed around the toll gates for an hour. You can't stay there all day now. you know how statistics, you make inference from the population you've gathered. And don't forget, the aim is to check how much LCC is making on daily basis, at least on the average. And don't forget, vehicles has different denomination they pay. There's a denomination, yeah, different amount they pay, then different amount they pay. Of course, commercial bus pay lesser than private saloon car pays lesser than, an SUV. An SUV pays lesser than a truck, and truck pays lesser than, it graduates like that. Now, so this guy was at the toll and, start ticking. If a saloon car pass, it will tick. A truck pass, it will pick on that truck. An SUV pass, it will tick on that SUV. An Okada pass, it will tick on a motorcycle. So he was just ticking all those things. At the end of the day, he just did it for 1 hour. The 1 hour will give him an idea of what a typical day looks like. Of course, it will be wrong to multiply by 24 because midnight, the number of vehicles are not same. But I think he was able to do for 8 hours. He stood there for 1 hour, used it to multiply by 8 busy hours out of the 24 hours in a day to give him an idea. So you can use this for, predictive purposes. I don't know what the company he was using it for, what they wanted to use it for. I don't know. Maybe they are anti-APC. I don't know. But he was doing it to get the number of money LCC make. Of course, it can be used for market research. We're looking at, the usefulness of this big data I've explained. Don't forget what big data is. Data that are too large to be managed using the traditional way or traditional means. Use it for sales forecasts. Can use it for human capital management. Can use it for audit purposes. Okay? So several, things you can use the big data for. And some of the tools that can be used, I'll round off here. It's after 10 already. This is my last part. So some of the tools you can use, of course, your Microsoft Excel is there. Excel, we're very familiar with Excel. Your structured query language, SQL, is there. Your quick view, reminder, idea. These are different softwares that can be used for big data. Okay, so gentlemen and ladies, I'll draw the cuttings here. It's after time. We won't be able to take our questions and answers today, and I wanted us to, but when next, or we just, can you spare me 5 minutes? Let's just do, even if it's just one question each per person before we leave. Based on, of course, what we said today. Pass icon question, and then, as usual, I'll provide the question and answers again, and lecture material. It's fine, Abi. So 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes would just be 5 minutes. Each person just one question. Then, because it helps. I know what I'm saying. It helps. It helps. Okay, so we go to the question and answer. Of course, if I call you, it's your question. There we go. Okay. Okay. We didn't talk about hardware today. Talked about just software. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. I'm trying to open the file. Okay. So the question goes, the first question is going first. Okay. Catherine, your question. Sorry,
don't forget the observation. Don't forget I came late, sir. But I would like to take the question. All right, sir.
Don't worry.
Oh,
I
yes,
cannot,
sir.
if you enter the hall, Itaka will not remind you that it's also 10 minutes. Same question you answer. Like those that be there 6 a.m. Same question. Don't
All
worry.
right, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go. So a system that interacts. Okay, no, not that. Not that. Okay, we go. Which of the following is not a criteria for evaluating a hardware? Check that again. Which of the following is not a criteria for evaluating a hardware? Which is not a criteria for evaluating a hardware? 1. A. Costs. B. Performance. C. Templates. D. Ergonomics. E. Compatibility. Which of the following is not a criteria for evaluating a hardware? Costs, performance, templates, ergonomics, compatibility.
I'll pick ergonomics.
Sorry?
The D. Ergonomics.
Ergonomics. Okay. So, do you know what ergonomics is? First, do you have an idea?
Not really.
Okay. So, ergonomics is how human, or let me
Okay.
put it this way, the impact of computer system on human. Take, for instance,
Okay.
there are keyboards that when you are typing with, you most likely you have wrist pain. That's an ergonomic issue. There's some computer system that when you look when you look at for long, you start breaking. Your tears start breaking. You start affecting your eyes.
Okay.
That's ergonomic issue. So the question now is asking you, at least you have an idea of what ergonomics is. It's also for chairs. There's some chairs that when you sit for long, you start having back pain.
Okay.
That's ergonomic issue. Now the question now is, which of the following is not a criteria that you should consider when you are buying a hardware?
Okay.
They said cost. They said the performance. They said template. They said ergonomics. They said compatibility.
Can we say templates?
Templates. Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Final answer, templates is correct.
Thank you.
Because the ergonomics is a big word. That one is a big
So
word.
I was taking it to be another thing or something odd out, an odd out word. So because I don't have the idea. So I think that is talking about human factor now, or let me say the
Exactly.
impact of the
How the
hardware on
computer affects human.
the human.
That's
So
the
human,
simple word.
Okay,
How
sir.
computer affects human.
Human.
You see it in HSC. HSC people talk about ergonomics a lot. The chairs, the table, the office space, they are all ergonomics issues. But here is also in computer system as well. Thank you,
So
Catherine.
templates.
That's fantastic.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think I hope my hoop this night. The next question. The next question is yes. So the next question is a hardware device that's common wiring points in a LAN is referred to as a hardware device that's common wiring points in a LAN is referred to as a switch, a router, a network interface card, a modem.
Can you repeat the question?
A hardware device that's common wiring points in all LAN is referred to as a switch, a router, network interface card, a modem. You want me to repeat the question again? A common wiring point in a LAN. Common wiring. I remember when I was explaining something around here, I told you, if you look at under your table in the office. That's where that runs from that. That's the question they're asking you now. So a common wiring point in a LAN is referred to as a switch, a router, a network interface card, a modem.
I would say a switch.
Switch, your final answer?
No, sir.
Huh?
It's not my final answer.
Yeah. No, David, let me ask you properly. David, is switch your final answer?
Yes, sir. Wait.
Okay.
Switch.
Switch.
The thing is that
Okay, I'm waiting.
when you explain these stuff, I can remember you mentioned a switch, but all this router is not. It wasn't the word. So that's why I'm a bit confused. Well,
And the question will not come directly, you know. That's why we're also having this, this practice.
I'll go for switch, sir.
You go for switch. So a switch actually is correct. Switch is correct. Well done, Temitope. Switch is correct.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're off my hook for tonight, at least. Babajide, your question. Babajide, your question.
Okay.
Global Information Highway can be assessed via the Global Information Highway can be accessed via the dash. Global Information Highway can be accessed via the dash. ARPANET, Infonet, Internet, Intranet, Extranet.
Internet.
Final answer, Babajide.
Yes.
Internet, final answer is correct. Well done, Babajide. Well done. You're off my hook tonight. These are I can't question. No. They're not my question. Okay. Thank you. So the final and the last question for tonight to allow us leave would go to no other than Celia. Are you with us? I haven't heard your voice for a while.
Yes, I'm here. But this one that you asked me last, I hope I don't miss the question.
No, you will not miss. Nobody has missed, so we will not back from you. Nobody has missed. So we go. An internal organizational network that provides access to data across enterprise, as well as selected outsiders, is known as an internal organization network that provides access to data across enterprise, as well as selected outsiders, is known as the Internet A, B, intranet, C, extranet, D, local area network, E, wide area network.
I think the answer is extranet.
Correct. Extranet, final answer?
Yes, final answer.
Final answer, extranet. Extranet is correct. Bravo. Well done. Well done. Say thank God. Well done. Well done. So this is for tonight. Well done. Well done. So these are past ICANN questions. As I said, they are past ICANN questions and some model ICANN question. And as I said to the last diet, ICANN do not have another question again. Anything they will ask, they will keep revolving around what they have asked before. A smart student would pick to what I just said. ICANN do not have new question again. They would always ask around what they've asked previously, if you know what I mean. As I said, I've been taking this course for over a decade, over 10 years. Yes, you had me over 10 years. So when I tell you ICANN do not have a new question, I'm speaking from, an experience point. Okay, so that said, thank you very much for your time, even if we started a bit late, but at least you'll be able to pick up something today. Sure.
Very well, sir.
Okay. So I'm
Thank
going to
you
share
very
the same. Okay, great. I'm going to share the same question and the lecture notes which I use to. I still have your email, right?
It was Jessica you sent to the last time, not me.
Oh, it was Jessica. Oh, where is Jessica? I was saying that somebody was not. Is she fine?
Yeah, she's the one we're planning to check on after the class. We don't know what's happening.
Oh, please do.
So we're planning on checking up on her.
Although it's late, because by the time you leave the class, it's almost 11. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Timko, you say me hi on WhatsApp. Let me have your email address so I can share these questions. There are quite a number of other questions, not just these ones we attended to, and the answers as usual are at the end, both the theory and the OBJ. Then the lecture notes, I will share them with you for our reading sake. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your active participation. So let's do it some other time again. Have a good night rest.
All right. Thank you.